MTC. Day 09, Number 1. Author Elizabeth Gilbert tells the fable of a great saint who would lead his followers in meditation. Elizabeth Gilbert. Just as the followers were dropping into their Zen moment, they would be disrupted by a cat that would walk through the temple meowing and bothering everyone. The saint came up with a simple solution. He began to tie the cat to a pole during meditation sessions. This solution quickly developed into a ritual. Tie the cat to the pole first, meditate second. When the cat eventually died of natural causes, a religious crisis followed. What were the followers supposed to do? How could they possibly meditate without tying the cat to the pole? This story illustrates what I call invisible rules. These are habits and behaviors that have unnecessarily rigid feed into rules. Although written rules can be resistant to change, invisible ones are more stubborn. They're the silent killers. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Day 09, Number 2. While leaders often face enormous pressures to make decisions quickly, premature decisions are the leading cause of decision failure. This is primarily because leaders respond to the superficial issue of a decision rather than taking the time to explore the underlying issues. Bob Carlson is a good example of a leader exercising patience in the face of diverse issues. Bob Carlson. In the economic downturn of early 2001, Real Precision Manufacturing faced a 30% drop in revenues. 2001, Real Precision Manufacturing 3-0. Some members of the senior leadership team favored layoffs and some favored salary reductions. While it would have been easy to push for a decision or call for a vote in order to ease the tension of the economic pressures, as CEO, Bob Carlson helped the team work together and examine all of the issues. Bob Carlson. The team finally agreed on salary reductions, knowing that, to the best of their ability, they had thoroughly examined the implications of both possible decisions. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Day 09, Number 3. Early in the term, our art professor projected an image of a monk, his back to the viewer, standing on the shore, looking off into a blue sea and an enormous sky. The professor asked the class, "What do you see?" The darkened auditorium was silent. We looked and thought as hard as possible to unearth the hidden meaning, but came up with nothing. We must have missed it. With dramatic exasperation she answered her own question, "It's a painting of a monk. His back is to us. He is standing near the shore. There's a blue sea and enormous sky. Why didn't we see it?" So as not to bias us, she'd posed the question without revealing the artist or title of the work. In fact, it was Caspar David Friedrich's The Monk by the Sea. Caspar David Friedrich, The Monk by the Sea. To better understand your world, consciously acknowledge what you actually see rather than guess at what you think you are supposed to see. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Day 09, Number 4. Consider the story of two men quarreling in a library. One wants the window open and the other wants it closed. They argue back and forth about how much to leave it open, a crack, halfway, or 3/4 of the way. 4-3. No solution satisfies them both. Enter the librarian. She asks one why he wants the window open, to get some fresh air. She asks the other why he wants it closed, to avoid a draft. After thinking a minute, she opens wide a window in the next room, bringing in fresh air without a draft. This story is typical of many negotiations. Since the parties' problem appears to be a conflict of positions, they naturally tend to talk about positions and often reach an impasse. The librarian could not have invented the solution she did if she had focused only on the two men's stated positions of wanting the window open or closed. Instead, she looked to their underlying interests of fresh air and no draft. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Day 09, Number 5. Ransom Olds, the father of the Oldsmobile, could not produce his horseless carriages fast enough. Oldsmobile, Ransom Olds. In 1901 he had an idea to speed up the manufacturing process. Instead of building one car at a time, he created the assembly line. 1901. The acceleration in production was unheard of, from an output of 425 automobiles in 1901 to an impressive 2,500 cars the following year. 19014252,500. While other competitors were in awe of this incredible volume, Henry Ford dared to ask, "Can we do even better?" Henry Ford. He was, in fact, able to improve upon Olds's clever idea by introducing conveyor belts to the assembly line. Olds. As a result, Ford's production went through the roof. Ford. Instead of taking a day and a half to manufacture a Model T, as in the past, he was now able to spit them out at a rate of one car every 90 minutes. Model T 1.590. The moral of the story is that good progress is often the herald of great progress. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Day 09, Number 6. While working as a research fellow at Harvard, B.F. Skinner carried out a series of experiments on rats, using an invention that later became known as a Skinner box. Harvard, B.F. Skinner box. A rat was placed in one of these boxes, which had a special bar fitted on the inside. Every time the rat pressed this bar, it was presented with food. The rate of bar pressing was automatically recorded. Initially, the rat might press the bar accidentally, or simply out of curiosity, and as a consequence receive some food. Over time, the rat learned that food appeared whenever the bar was pressed, and began to press it purposefully in order to be fed. Comparing results from rats given the positive reinforcement of food for their bar pressing behavior with those that were not, or were presented with food at different rates, it became clear that when food appeared as a consequence of the rat's actions, this influenced its future behavior. Day 10. MTC. Good job.